MMA. Shoot, I said his name already. Well, forget that. He's a red Terran. There he is.
Slayers MMA.
Slayers MMA. Hey, he uses the same mouse that I do.
Perhaps you were just saying, here's mixed martial arts.
That's possible. Here's our other opponent. He tried a crazy nuke opening last game. He is
OGS Hyperdub.
OGS Hyperdub.
It sounds like it should be a style of music, but I don't think it actually is.
Hyperdub? Might be. Maybe. Hyperdub, which sounds like fast dubstep.
It's like, yeah, fast dubstep or something.
Huge thank you to our sponsors, LG, Intel, and G-Skill. Thanks for supporting esports. We really appreciate it. Thank you all of you out there watching today. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Gas first from MMA.
Ooh, interesting.
You know, when players go gas first quite a bit, that usually signifies Banshees, just because, or Cloak Banshees rather, just because you want to get a lot of gas built up so you can afford that first Banshee and Cloak at the same time. But we have a kind of a hidden barracks going on.
Yeah, I think
as well. I don't know.
I think the fact that this is actually sort of a Brood War build. What you do is, because you're going to get something, you have enough of gas in your factory immediately after your barracks completes.
Right.
You can actually not even make a Marine if you don't want to, and immediately just make a Hellion or something like that, and float your barracks to scout with. And it's kind of interesting, he actually doesn't know that he's in a perfect position to scout with that barracks.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
but
pretty good timing.
I don't know. It also could just be hidden, you're right. I mean, it could just be hidden so that, you know, he doesn't see it. When he goes to scout the base, he's like, no barracks! Crap, I'm being proxied! You know, just.
But he's got a gas. I don't know what this means. He's getting a lot of gas.
If he's so confused.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. It looks like MMA looking for an expansion that Hyperdub is probably going to put up there since he has plenty of minerals.
He is going to make a Marine, actually.
All right.
And it's actually rallied to Hyperdub's base.
Huh.
That's kind of interesting. Oh, never mind.
Marine going down for MMA. So no more scouting for him.
Yeah.
He can make a pretty safe assumption, though, that Hyperdub is indeed doing the expansion. I don't know if you saw the command center, but...
Oh, okay. Wait. So he just put down a tech lab on the barracks, and then a factory next to it. So it probably is hidden. He probably hit the barracks, so he could also hide the factory and put it on the tech lab and have that all hidden.
Possibly either a really fast Blue Flame Hellion,
maybe fast Blue Flame Hellions, or something like that. And he actually plants the starport on the tech lab.
Well, there you go.
We'll see that in a minute.
Huh.
So
I bet it is Banshees.
It probably is Banshees, and you just put it over there so you can hide everything, I guess.
That's right. That makes sense. I mean, when you build that tech lab on your barracks, you can kind of get that up a little bit faster. So this is going to be really the fastest Cloak Banshee that you can possibly produce in TVT. There's
just about.
There's really not a lot you can do to make this Banshee come sooner. So if Hyperdub doesn't have his second orbital command up and running, there's a pretty good chance that MMA could do a lot of damage with this, just because Hyperdub won't have enough scans to deal with that. That's the theory I think that the MMA is going with.
Yeah, and this is actually, just watching his build, it actually is really, really crisp. He's only got one gas still, so even if he scouts the main, he won't think Banshees because he only sinks one gas. He had because he got for that early gas, he had exactly enough gas for a Banshee when it completed, and then still had to wait just about 5 more seconds to get enough money for an expansion. So very crisp build here.
All right.
Yeah, not enough gas for Cloak, but the Banshee's going to be out pretty quick.
Because he never did get that second gas, So, really fast Banshee. The nice thing that you can do with fast Banshees, or Banshees that come out fast, that is you can micro them very, very well against small numbers of Marines. Banshees do outrange Marines, so with some careful mouse and keyboard action, you can definitely come out on top. But Hyperdub already has quite a few Marines.
Now here comes that Banshee. The Marines are all at the front, so they are actually not reacting very quickly. Now they're reacting, running back here.
He's going to want to get that
Banshee has 2
mule.
kills so far, and he does not have Cloak, so he does have to worry about those Marines.
Yep. Proper micro, getting the SCV, building the building, very important to do things like that, just to kind of harass as much as humanly possible.
Wow. He's actually doing really well. This is nice micro.
Yeah, MMA doing great with his Banshee there.
6 kills on it so far. He's going to get a 7th, an 8.
Yep.
And he is quickly taking the lead. Just with those few kills, took a lead. Even though he got a later command center, he's now at 27 to 25. So not terrible lead, but enough of a lead. And he's about to get his second orbital on, so...
So, I really, really like what MMA is doing. I mean, the control that he's got with his Banshee is just so good. I mean, he's completely shut down that second base of Hyperdub right now, continuing to attack it. He's getting a lot of Marines. He's getting a lot any SCV that comes up. But here comes a Viking.
Viking is out, though.
That is
that
going to be
Banshee
the
has
end of
one shot left on it.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's going to get away. This Viking's going after it. And
might be able to get back. It should be. They both
there's a
moved
Marine
up
there.
16.
And the Banshee
Nice.
lives.
Very nice by MMA. He can repair that
Gonna
Banshee.
get repaired up. I like
to
the
fight
fact that
another
he's
day.
repairing that Banshee. It bugs me
Yeah.
so much when Terran
Oh,
players are like,
yeah.
this Banshee has 6 hit points left, but if I micro perfectly,
I
it'll
know.
never die. And then it dies because they don't micro perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I've even seen a couple players starting to do now. I've mentioned this before on the cast, but there's a player named DDE in North America who I've seen a lot of times take like
player.
2 SCVs and move them outside of his opponent's base so that he can move the Banshee back less distance and repair it there. I love that. Why don't more people do that? I don't know. Keep the
man.
Banshee alive. No need to sacrifice such an expensive unit early in the game like that.
Now, this is interesting. We actually have a little diversion in strategy here. MMA is going for stim. It looks like he might actually be going for a stim timing. It's almost done. But Hyperdub is going for siege tanks, and his siege mode is going to be done just a few seconds before stim is done. So if he sieges up immediately, the stim timing is actually not going to do any good.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of an unfortunate guess by MMA that stim is just, bio against siege tanks just not as good, so he's probably not going to be able to do much with this attack.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean,
we'll see. He doesn't have any bunkers or
It's going to
anything.
be really
so.
tough for him. Yeah, it's certainly going to be really difficult. It all depends, like you said, if Hyperdub does siege his tanks up right away. More great Banshee micro from MMA. That Banshee is up to what, 15 kills now?
15 kills.
Captain Banshee.
Captain Banshee.
Captain
Now,
Banshee.
now that I had said that before, I'm actually going to say it might not be what I was thinking because MMA is also researching siege mode, and he has a tank out. So he actually might be, instead of doing a stim timing, he might be waiting for siege mode. He is breaking down the rocks to get a faster route. Well, he was.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to kind of soften them up once in a while, too, just so you can come back to it later and bust through when they're not expecting it. A lot of players will just see that the rocks are up, not bother to actually click on them to see how much health they have left.
Yeah.
So just one of those little tactics you can do to maybe give yourself an advantage later on
That's actually a
in
good
the
point.
game.
I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely do that. Now, the standard right now in TVT, especially on the Korean server, is Marine Tank. So both players playing pretty standard, although the openings did kind of vary a little bit. But right now, it's going to come down to control, and a lot of TVTs that get into the later games lately have been going to battle cruisers.
Yeah.
Now with the speed increase, they've become a lot more viable in TVT. We see MVP
pioneering that,
getting a
yeah.
lot, getting quite a bit. Will we see it today?
Yeah, like
I
the
don't
day
know.
of the patch.
Yeah.
MVP's like, oh, I'm going to use this to
GSTL.
own. Both players having their sensor towers up to make sure that drops aren't going to be as effective. And MMA is all over the place. He has a sensor tower, all 4 Zelnaga towers. He's got his Banshee chilling in the bottom left. He has vision of almost the entire map right now.
Yeah, that's definitely great. Great use of the map by MMA. So often you don't see Terran players
Nothing's
really
going to get by
bother about
MMA
it.
right now at all.
Yeah. Now he did take down those rocks. Banshee and Marine is kind of chilling out there. Looks like Hyperdub wants to expand, so MMA may want to try to catch him when he tries to do that. But really, Hyperdub has a pretty good defensive line setup right now.
Yeah,
It's going to be tough to break.
And MMA just scanned it, we saw.
Yep.
So he knows that he can't quite break through there right now. The Marines are there, and if Hyperdub...
Oh, a lot of barracks going down for Hyperdub. 5 more barracks, I believe. 4 or 5, yeah.
4 more
4
barracks
more.
in production, actually, yeah.
All right.
He is really powering. MMA, of course, has his 3rd up already. So his income is actually a little bit higher. He's got more SCVs as well. So he's looking pretty good. Even though Hyperdub, for the moment, has more tanks, MMA, actually, does he have 2 factories even? He does have 2 factories, so he could pass up Hyperdub in that count.
Now you'll notice that Hyperdub is getting Marine shields. He's getting +1 for the weapons and armor for his infantry, and a lot of players also open up with Marine tank. And then in the mid game, once they take their 3rd transition into bio and drops.
Oh, actually,
just because you can be a lot more mobile once you have the defensive line set.
actually, Hyperdub's about to finish +2 infantry weapons.
Oh
and,
yeah, you're right.
And MMA doesn't even have armor 1 yet. He's actually upgrading vehicle weapons now.
All right. 4 reactors going down, so I could be mistaken with the whole bio thing. It sounds like it's going to be just Marines. I was thinking maybe he was going to go into Marine Marauder.
Jehoshaphat trigger. He's got one tech lab, but he's only making Marines out of it anyway, so.
Yeah.
Mass Marine for Hyperdub, apparently, which against 8 siege tanks is going to fail unless he catches them out of position and out of siege. If he does, he can own those siege tanks really quick with mass stim Marines.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's going to get slaughtered by them. So it's going to come down to that timing. And, you know, I got to say, with the fact that MMA is being so diligent about seeing the entire map, I don't expect him to get caught unsieged out of position. In fact, he's taking the high ground here.
Oh, and this might actually hit a couple Marines for Hyperdub. It does indeed. And right now, MMA is starting to put on the pressure with those tanks. He's got the high ground. He's got the vision with that medevac. Plus 3 weapons already starting for Hyperdub. Really, really fast upgrades. This could actually make a huge, huge difference in this game.
Yeah, it really could, because he's going to have plus 3 weapons before, if I'm not mistaken, MMA has plus 2 armor.
Yeah.
Because he's not even researching armor anymore. He's just continuing to get vehicle weapons. So that could actually be bad. And oh, he's trying to move in a little bit here. Might be able to get a tank. Yes.
Oh, looks like he will. Deciding to get a little bit in.
Nice position. And there comes a bunch of Vikings and that Banshee, that same Captain Banshee, coming in to finish off the tank that was damaged in the front. Beautiful move, and he has air superiority. Whoa! Hyperdub going for it. He picks off 2 medevacs full of Marines, and that was a huge blow. Whoa! MMA's Marines charging and polishing off Hyperdub's tanks, and in the blink of an eye, MMA taking a commanding 155 to 108 supply lead, and he may just close out the series right now.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of a season or 2 ago, the whole, snarfing that was going on in Code A. So that was definitely a snarf maneuver right there.
That was quite snarf-tastic.
Yeah, so
there's GG.
MMA, a quick 2-0 over OGS Hyperdub. MMA advances. He's got to be pleased with himself there. And Hyperdub, again, kind of a long-term fixture of the GSL. He is out for this season now.
Yep, but he did make it to the round of 16, so he's slotted for Code A next season at the very least.
Yep, we're going to see him again next season. And we have to at least say thanks for providing some entertaining games for us today.
Yeah.
That nuke opening.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually. I like that. I like that. And it could have worked. It wasn't just like silly. It actually could have worked really well. If he hadn't spread his Marines properly, and if there had been a little bit better micro, hadn't been that Marauder, it could have really owned, because he did bust down the door. He couldn't get a concave.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty clever.
It's kind of reminding me of this season. It kind of seems like return of the beta builds in TVT, because you had like Marine King stealing the gold. You had the Thor rushes.
Yeah.
You have now we have nuke rushes.
Oh,
it's like
man,
the beta
I remember that gold
again.
steal. Yeah. The Metalopolis build where you float your command center to the gold base.
We're going to be seeing like Colossus drops any day now.
Now, we are going to see, I would say, a friend of ours in a way, as Startail Bomber is going to be playing in the next match after his games last week, or maybe it was the day after, something like that. He actually came over to Gom House for a Korean show, and we actually got to go out and have barbecue with him, Korean barbecue, and he's pretty shy, but he's actually a cool guy.
Very cool guy. A lot of programmers are a little bit more shy, but
yeah. Apparently, we found out he was actually, we knew he was on the Eastro team as a Terran player back in the day. Apparently, he was actually on the Eastro Counter-Strike team for a while, too.
Really? Now that I missed.
I was like, hey, Bomber, do you play World of Warcraft? He's like, no. I played Counter-Strike for Eastro.
World of Warcraft?
Really? Well, you guys were talking about World of Warcraft, and so I'm like, do you play that? Because he was being shy, so I want to get him involved. I'm like, hey, did you play that? And
that's right. The rest of us were. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's what Mole Trap and I do. In the evening, we go out to Korean barbecue. But let's talk about this game. We're going to see who the other player is that we haven't talked about yet.